Okay, so again today, because I have a lot of green tomatoes left over from the garden, what we're going to do is we're going to take those green tomatoes and we're going to make a mock strawberry jam with the green tomatoes. So what I've done here is I've got a bunch of tomatoes cut up. I want to make sure that I have at least 6 cups, so we're going to count that out. Okay, so I've counted up 6 cups worth of green tomatoes. You want to mince them as fine as you possibly can. I just did rough cuts here because I don't mind the bulk. Now, the recipe calls for 6 cups of sugar, but that's way too much sugar for me. So what we will do is I will just count out 2 cups of sugar, and I will add that to my pot with my tomatoes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the pot over to the stove and we're going to let that boil for 10 minutes. Now while this is boiling for your 10 minutes, what you want to do is you want to get all your jars ready. This batch will make approximately 4 or 5 250 ml jars. So we want to break that down, allow it to come to a boil for 10 minutes. Okay, so what I've done here is, because I like a little bit of different flavors, is I have added a little bit of pepper. Pepper always enhances the taste of real fruit. I know we don't have real fruit in here, but I'm hoping it'll do the same thing. I've also added a half a teaspoon of pure extract, vanilla extract. And I've also, I don't know if you could see that right there, a cinnamon stick. So what we're going to do is we're just going to allow everything to boil. I still have about another 5 minutes left on the boil. While that's boiling, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of margarine. I ran out of butter, so I will be using margarine. So we're just going to add that in, and we're going to make sure that it gets stirred in there completely all over, and we will continue to boil for another 5 minutes. So I'll see you back in 5 minutes. Okay, so we're just about ready to add the other ingredients. So the whole point of using the green tomatoes is because green tomatoes virtually have no flavor. So what happens is when you add your Jello, the flavor of the Jello gets incorporated into the tomato bits, which most people will actually think is your fruit bits. So I'm going to take out my nice cinnamon stick here, if I can get it out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to remove the pot from the heat. I'm going to add my 2nd spoonful of margarine. And I'm going to mix that in really, really, really well. Give that a few seconds. Mix it in really, really well. So now that it's completely incorporated into the tomatoes, what we're going to do now is I am using 2 packages of strawberry Jello. So that's 2 full packages of strawberry Jello. Add that right into the pot, and we want to make sure that we stir it until it's completely dissolved. And as you can see, now my tomatoes are turning a beautiful red color. I'll just keep doing this, make sure it's completely dissolved. Now it is liquid. The Jello won't actually start to solidify until it has cooled down properly. So we're going to make sure that completely dissolved, and then once it is completely dissolved and this liquid is still piping hot, we're going to bring it over to the other cupboard. There we go, that should just about do it. That looks beautiful actually. So now we're going to take the pot over to the cupboard, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to use our nice ladle here, and I already had a jar of orange marmalade that I did earlier, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to top that one off. with the strawberry. So here we go into the mixture. A little bit more, and again you want to make sure that you bring it, all of your liquids and your solids, oops, sorry about that, you want to make sure that you are, if you can see, right at the line. Now I don't know if you just heard that little pop behind me. That is actually my orange marmalade from a while ago, telling me that it's properly sealed. So again, we're going to put the snap lid on, and the jars have already been preheated in hot water along with the lids. So we'll put the snap lid and the other lid on, and just make sure that it's hand tight. So we're going to sit that aside, and we're going to keep going. We're going to do the next one. If you fill your jars while your liquids, your ingredients are completely boiled, they're nice and steaming hot, you can get away without having to do a canning bath. Now this is only for jams and desserts and the stuff that doesn't include meat. Okay, so we'll just finish that up, and away you go. Nice, beautiful strawberry jam. Now the main thing about these recipes is I want you to have fun. I want you to have fun with your recipe. I want you to customize it the way you want to. Cooking and canning should be fun. It shouldn't be a chore. So, I mean, I've chopped more tomatoes here only because now I want to do one with, I want to make a cherry jam. But the thing is I only have one package of Jello as opposed to 2 packages of Jello. So, I mean, customize it the way you want. If you want it more liquidy for ice cream sauce, then by all means only put 1 pack of Jello with your 6 cups of tomatoes. If you think that the Jello is sweet enough without adding sugar, then by all means don't put too much sugar in it. You do need a little bit to give it something to boil in, unless you just want to add a little bit of water. Again, play with it. If you have a little bit of, let's say a 1/4 cup of apple juice instead, you can throw that in. Play with your ingredients and have fun. What I did last night is I actually made raspberry jam. Same concept. I went to the store. There you go, some nice raspberry jam. I went to the store. I grabbed some raspberries that they had on sale. And what I did there is I decided to experiment a little. So I took 2 little pints of raspberries, put them in a pot, added a couple of tablespoons of sugar, smushed them all up, and basically just grabbed some raspberry Jello. I had 2 packages of raspberry Jello, and once my raspberries were all smushed with the sugar, then I just added my Jello, and voila. I mean, it's thick. There you go. It's Jello thick. So it's your choice if you want to use it as jam to put on bread, if you want to use it just to eat like that, which I can guarantee you it's delicious, or if you want to use it as a strawberry flavor or any kind of dessert flavorings. I mean, you can even make this ahead of time and put it in between your layers of cake. Have fun with your ingredients. So enjoy your canning, enjoy your cooking, and just have a ball.